What's happening, Ward Wrestling here? Man, what an awesome show I got for you. We got my man Blaine Ison, 14-year head coach at Palmetto Ridge, plus a wrestler at Palmetto Ridge, so 20-plus years there. 2022 3A Dairy Farmer Coach of the Year, Southwest Florida Coach of the Year. He's coached 12 individual state champions, coached 2 individual national champions, and he won the state dual championship back in 2022 in his inaugural season, being moved from 2A to 3A. Which was, he had a hell of a team back then. But, man, Coach, it's been a while. What's going on?
Hey, man, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, glad to have you on. Obviously, we got 2 of your hammers right behind me. I know those 2, your heavyweight, he was just a killer this year. And then we know how good Tyler Washburn was for you over the years. And we hope he's doing well out there in his next venture. But, man, speaking of ventures, you go from this kingdom that you've built at Palmetto Ridge to it's time to start over, and you're going over to St. John Newman Catholic High School. So you'll probably go from, 3A to 1A? Is it a smaller school?
Yep. Yeah, we'll be down to 1A. St. John Newman only has 400 kids in attendance at the school, so big difference, going from 2,600 to 400. But I'm excited. Yeah. Definitely a new adventure. I've been 2A and 3A, so now going to 1A, it's going to be a little bit different. But I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you've had a wrestling club down there for a long time with what you guys are building. From what I saw, you guys got a new room and stuff down there now. I saw, what's it called?
Yep.
Black Flag or
Black
something?
Flag Wrestling Academy. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what our Naples Bears transitioned to. And
yeah, so hopefully you still get that feeding program coming into the Catholic school, the young kids. Now, does your Catholic school go from K to 12, or is it just high school?
Nope, just high school. Just high school.
So you'll see them in 9th grade.
Yep.
Man, are you looking forward to the transition?
Yeah, you know what? I'm really excited. Obviously, being at Palmetto Ridge for that long was definitely a little scary to in the beginning to think about. And Palmetto's been my home for so long, forever. So it's a big transition, and but it's exciting to be able to start a new program. They don't have wrestling at all right now, so that is something I'm definitely excited about. To build from the ground up, and I'm going to have good companies doing it with all my coaches will be with me as well, so I'm hoping to build it faster and longer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look what Coach has done over there at Zephyrhills Christian. They got 150 kids, and he's been able to build a nice program there, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it here. But, you were at Palmetto 14 years. You've put so many banners on the wall there. You yourself were a wrestler there. These great state champs that I have behind me. So much history there. It's got to be a little bittersweet. I mean, I know you really wanted to stay there. But, for whatever reasons, maybe lack of support a little bit, you've decided to move on. Now,
I don't mind getting into it a little bit about it. I mean, really, the truth of the matter is, with our district, the way the policies and everything are around here, the zoning is very strict here in Collier County. And, we've tried to create something, well, we have created something at Palmetto Ridge where we have, our feeder program. Everyone knows the Naples Bears. I mean, they've won the last, I think, 3 out of the 4 AAU state youth titles. We have over 100 kids in that club, and every single one of those kids live out in our area by Palmetto Ridge. So, our success has been so great because of our feeder program for so long. Well, with, since basically COVID, everyone's running to the great state of Florida, which I don't blame them one bit. But obviously there's a lot of building. I mean, if you 5-6 years ago, if you went out by Palmetto Ridge for a tournament, there was nothing out there, nothing around it. No, you had a little convenience store down the road, and that was it. Now you come out there, there's supermarkets on every corner, and they're building commercial buildings here and there. So
it doesn't look like that anymore. It's
yeah, we were out in the sticks before. Now it's its own little town. So obviously the numbers have really grown at the school. And then this year with the new school that they opened up, which was Aubrey Rogers, they rezoned everything. And the way our county works is they tell you where you're going to go to the school. And then, so what really happened was now we're having kids that have been a part of our feeder program looking to, since day one, they've been a part of Naples Bears, and some of them since they were 6 years old. And now they're coming into high school and they're saying, oh, nope, you're going to this school. You're not going to Palmetto Ridge, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
And these little kids grow up dreaming to be a Palmetto Ridge Bear.
Exactly.
Right?
They're the ones coming, showing the support, coming to our duels and sitting mat side, dreaming of their moment to do the exact same thing. And not to call out, any other schools from this area, but, we have something built special there. And a lot of people want to be a part of it. And then for a district to be like, no, they're going to tell you what to do with your child. I mean, the way I look at it is like, at the end of the day, who is losing in that? Not me, not the county. The kid is, because they're losing opportunity to, for college and for their future, really. So
and you guys have really built something nice out there in Naples. I mean, you could see not just what you guys have built, but now there's probably 3, 4, 5 of our best wrestling clubs in the state are coming through your area there, and they're really that starts with what you built at the beginning.
Yeah, and so that was when I started really trying to pull the layers back to this and think about this. I was like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Like I want our kids, that's been a part of our program. I want to see them successful. Yes, I want Palmetto Ridge to be successful because that's always been my home. But at the end of the day, I'm there because I want to coach these kids and the kids that I have relationships with and see them grow. So, I'm not a teacher at Palmetto Ridge, so they don't really hold my hand to the fire where I have to stay there. It's, I want my homegrown kids. I mean, if you look at that state championship team, all those kids we didn't get 4 or 5 move-ins that year like some of the other schools do. Or you look at every single year, there are kids coming through.
That team was something special. Man, you guys, there were a lot of hammers on there, man.
That was a fun team.
It was and I mean, I could see that. I'm sure, like anywhere, that would cause a coach to sit back and reevaluate what they want to do next, because you put your blood, sweat, and tear into these little kids, and a lot of people, I think I was talking to this on the last show that I was just on with a gentleman up in Detroit who has like a nonprofit. He does stuff with Beat the Streets, but he's it's tough because obviously coaches are judged on wins and losses, but they're also judged on the quality of children they're bringing in, the quality of kid they're building, how many kids are getting that diploma, moving on to either a technical school or a college or the military, and what these kids are becoming. And if you as a coach put everything into these young kids, and not only are you getting them ready for high school, but you fall in love with these kids. I mean, they become family to you coaches. I know being a kid, I wasn't a wrestler. No, everybody knows that. It's no big secret. But I played football and basketball and tennis and all that other stuff. And the coaches to me were parents outside of the house. I mean, that's how we look 100%. At the coaches.
100%. It was not only that. I mean, and if you ask any kid that, one of my former wrestlers that's wrestling in college, I'm checking up on them weekly, monthly for sure. I'm always giving them a call and checking on them and seeing how they're doing. And to me, that's what it's about. Like they become family. I mean,
well, and you have to do that. I mean, now that I know by having a son in college, that those first 2 months that They're there as freshmen. They need support. They need mentoring. They need somebody at home or a coach or somebody to be like, hey, don't worry, you'll get used to it. Just keep going, keep moving forward. Because
100%. I think that we lack, that in just society right now. We don't realize how important coaches truly are to these young athletes. I mean, I know my coach, that coached me in high school. I still look at him as a father figure, and I would go to him for advice. And especially in high school, if I had a problem, my first go-to was my coach to find out, hey, this is what's going on. I have this problem. How should I handle it? Sometimes before I went to my parents, because, obviously, it's a little bit different with your parents. You're a little scared to go to your parents first.
Absolutely.
So, I think we
Well,
get overlooked as coaches, and, even now, some of the, district policies, which, just like with anything in nowadays, you look at, corporate and stuff, like they have to watch their back and they have to be careful about how you do things. And one of the like stipulations they put on our coaches in our district was like, we're not supposed to have any talking to our athletes outside, when they're at home or anything. I'm not supposed to text my kids or call them. I'm like, that's what you do as a coach. Like, you build a relationship with these kids, and
you have to check on them, make sure they're alive, they're doing well, they need
but
help.
it's just crazy to me what it's starting to turn into.
Yeah, my father coached youth stuff, club stuff, football, PAL, things like that. And I remember when we got to high school, a lot of those kids would tell me how thankful they were because he would put them in the back of the pickup back when you could throw, 20 kids in the back of your pickup truck and drive them around, get them to the games. Now that was him, right? He'd stop at 7-Eleven, get them all Slurpees. It was fun. Listen, there's obviously St. John's Newman got one of the best coaches in our state, and they're for a lack of better term, they're blessed now, and they get somebody that gets to build something special and bring in a feeder club with them, because obviously you have those kids coming. I mean, on a brighter note, you're going to be a dad again. Did I see that?
Yes, I am. Yes. Yep. Hopefully a little girl
Wow.
this time. Crossing the fingers.
Yeah, the boys are driving you crazy.
Oh no, it's just I already got 2 little boys. A little girl would just be the next best thing,
Well, congratulations on that. I know we saw you getting married. We saw the picture of the baby and that coming. So you guys must be really excited.
Yeah, we are. We're super excited.
That's
awesome. My
So,
timing is always perfect. I like my oldest son. I had him right in the middle of wrestling season, and like I said, hopefully this one's a girl, and she'll be right in the beginning of wrestling season. So
nice.
Looking forward to it. I love challenges.
Future state champs coming out of the ice and home.
That's the goal.
And are you going to, speaking of girls, are you going to be able to have boys and girls in the program over there? Are you starting with just a boys program and then add a girls program, or is it co-ed, first of all? And I guess that would be the big thing, right?
Yeah, it is co-ed, and we will be having a girls team as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you got a lot of great girls that are graduating this year from Palmetto Ridge going on. I know Coach Vega, his daughter, but you've got his younger daughter. Who knows? Maybe she'll end up being that.
She's coming up.
John Newman. Yeah. So that'd be awesome. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. I like him a lot. Well, man, so this year was a good year for you. I mean, you guys were competitive. You guys had a successful year. You put another state championship banner on the wall with your heavyweight there. What's he up to? Is he moving on to college? Was he a senior this year?
Yep. He'll be. He's moving on to. He's going to go wrestle for Little Rock. So
really
super excited
good for
about
him.
that. Yep.
That's where Van Hookey is, right?
He'll be up there with Van Hookey and a couple of the other Florida boys. So I think that'll be a great fit for him. I think that they're getting a very good kid. I mean, a lot of people don't know really his story. I mean, he moved in from Washington his junior year, so last year. And obviously we had a great heavyweight last year, a guy that was in the state finals, Austin Foy, coming in that year, he was ranked top 10 in the country. So, this young man, Caden, man, he won my coach's award, last year. So that tells you, as a backup kid, to win your coach's award, that really says something about the kid that he was,
and two totally different styles between him and Austin, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, and like I said, he was a backup, so he didn't really get a lot of time, but he was one of the hardest, if not the hardest workers in the room every day, and would show up and do what he had to do, even though he knew that, he was going to be a backup. So, this year, that's what we set some goals last year, and was like, it's got to start now. And he trained his butt off all summer long and stuck to the program. And when he got his opportunity this year, I mean, they didn't even have him ranked, for the first 3 or 4 weeks. I was just like, man,
well, that changed quick, right?
Yeah. And then he goes out and wins the knockout, and then, then they rank him number 1. And the rest was history. He had a great year.
You must have, speaking of Austin Foyer, his moms are unbelievable. You had to miss them this year, right? Not being in the room.
They're still around. I still talk. Like I said, like I said, our kids, they become, in the families, they become family with us. I was just talking to the mom late last week. So
they're awesome.
They're always around and supporting us.
They used to hit me up for pictures, but the funniest story I have is so he had to wrestle Chase Horn, remember, in the finals, that knockout, and the match ended in 20 seconds, right? And I pull up to the Wawa gas station right there across from Osceola, and I hear one of his moms like, Ward, I didn't see any pictures. And I go, yeah, there's a picture. It's right underneath Chase Horn. She goes, well, we don't want that one. And she started laughing. I remember she started laughing. She's like, well, don't send us that one. And but man, yeah, if Foyer got his arms around you, I mean, I talked to Toro. I talked to Nelson Toro, and he's like, yeah, man, my goal that whole match was keep his arms from getting around me, because he knew if he got his arms around him, he was going to go flying, right? So the game plan was if you could stay away, because what he said, man, because I knew I'd get tossed. But man, great kid. He looks great. He looks great. I saw him in pictures up at college. He looks lean. He looks big.
Yeah, he looks a lot better.
And because he's loved by so many kids around our state, because he's such a great person, a human, a character, right? It looks like he's
one of a kind.
Yes, but he's attracting kids to the school. You're starting to see kids that are going there to be around him and be there, and you're seeing some really good kids in our state end up there. So good for him.
Oh, yeah, him and Roman's there as well. Roman's there, All-American.
Yeah, and now you're getting Chase is going there.
Yep. From Blake Gibson, and you got Walker's nephew going there now.
Yeah, so they're building something nice up there. That's awesome to see. It's cool now. When I started this, I didn't know anybody, right? And now it's cool to start to see, like, starting last year, I started to see kids that I covered all high school, and they're going off to college. So it's pretty cool now to turn on the TV or turn on Flow, and you're watching a college match or an open tournament. You're like, oh shit, there's this kid, there's that kid, and you kind of know him now, right? And it's pretty awesome.
No, it's pretty awesome to watch. I mean, Florida has really, really done well these past couple of years. Even especially at the D1 level, getting kids to Division I, and they're actually going on and, representing the state well. I saw some stat was this year from NCAAs about how many kids came from like just the Tampa area. I was like, holy crap, that was impressive.
Yeah, and I think 4 of them were from Jesuit or
Jesuit,
something.
yeah. And
Yeah, they're doing
they had a
something.
great program.
Well, and I think are we going to start to see Van Hokie next year and Abden more out there? Are we going to? I know you've seen him. We've seen him some in some opens now, but
yeah, I think obviously that's the goal. For Brennan to be the starter this year. So, it's up to him.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I remember he used to say he would get into his head, and then finally when he finally got that first title, you knew he'd get another one because he kind of he kind of got over that.
Yeah, anyone that knows Brennan knows how good Brennan is. He was very special, especially technique wise. I mean, I feel like in high school he could have taught the technique in practice. Like his toolbox skill level was very high, and I attribute that. I mean, his parents did very well with him, getting him around the coaches they needed to get him to that level at a young age. And he's very fun to watch.
Yeah, we were blessed to see some great matches. I mean, one of the best matches I watched was at Lake Gibson when he and Mohina went to overtime.
Yeah, and they had a couple good scraps.
Those 2 kids are 2 of the best to come out of our state, and to see them in an overtime match in a high school gym in the middle of, you're sitting in that. I mean, it was unbelievable the matches we were seeing that weekend in that gym, and it was fun. It was fun. So did you take some kids down to Father Divine?
Yeah, we had a group go down there. We got one of our kids win it. So I've taken a little time off and just be with my young boys. So I haven't got to too many freestyle tournaments. But yeah, we had some of our kids down there.
They're starting to your boys are starting to get on the mat a little bit.
Yeah, they rolled around a little bit this year. I'm trying not to push them too early. Right now I just have them doing the like AAU series. So we did the couple little events and then I put them in baseball, and then by the end of the baseball they're like, when is wrestling start again? So I was like,
yes,
that's what I wanted.
Well, I guess next year I'll be doing media day at Father Divine or St. John Newman.
Yeah.
St. John Newman, that'll be all. I tell my wife always says, how come you don't charge him a travel fee? I said, because I get to go down this back road that has this little gas station in the middle of nowhere that has a lady in the back making Mexican street tacos. So I said, so I want to go.
That must be Immokalee.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Is that through Immokalee, the town?
Yeah, it's like an old back road, and I go through it well, I found it by mistake the first year that you had me come down there because it took me through the back roads, and I needed gas. So a gas station. So I pull into the gas station, and there's a big bus that pulls in next to me, and coming out of the bus is, I don't know, 200 people of Latin descent. And I was like, oh, I must be at the right gas station. So I walk inside, and yeah, tables are full, and there's a lady in the back with a flat top, and she's making tacos, literally throwing them on the thing. She's got this big tin of meat, and now I'm like, you know what? He can pay whatever. I just want to go get some Mexican tacos. Cynthia's like, you're an idiot. So I'm like, that works for me. Fat kid, like it.
Hey, those are some of the best places. You find the little holes in the wall.
Yeah, I get the big stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, man, I'm sure I'll see you. I know you'll have kids competing in the first 2 days of Spartan with freestyle and Greco.
Yep. Yeah,
so
we'll definitely have a group there and the individual going to that.
And then will you be at? Will we see you at the knockout? Summer knockout?
Oh yeah, yep. We'll be at the
Awesome.
knockout. We'll be pretty much doing the same schedule we usually do. We'll be at the Braves. We're still the other caveat is the Kobe tournament. We were trying to find a venue because it keeps growing as well. And talking with the family, the goal is to keep growing it. And obviously, not being at Palmetto anymore. We're figuring out how we're going to do it because St. John Newman's gym is not, suitable or as big as Palmetto Ridge. So we
Sure
found a
you'll
couple of
find it.
places. We're just seeing if it's going to be, if the dates are going to work out.
I mean, look what
if not,
look
we
what
gotta figure
Walker
out.
had to. Yeah, same thing. Look what Walker had to do with the Braves
Yeah,
Invitational. I mean, he had to
yeah,
go and get a new spot because man, people are coming in for that. It's awesome, and your event down there, man, that's cool. I hope. I know the last couple of years you invited me to the event. Once you put it on the calendar, let me know the date because I always try to get there, but I'm always at one of my kids' tournaments. So
yeah. This
hopefully,
year it'll be February, or let's see, January 31st and February 1st.
nice. So hopefully it doesn't
So, and most
coincide with
likely
anything.
we'll end up having to sit down with Palmetto Ridge and probably work something out. I mean, the tournament's always been there. So we'll probably have it there this year, most likely. But man, this past year, if it's anything like it was this past year, I mean, you had Somerset, you had South Dade, you had Lake Gibson, all the teams that just won a dual state championship. And then you had, Jensen Beach and Charlotte. And,
Oh man, and I remember hearing about matches. I forget where I was, but I remember hearing about matches that were going on from
yeah,
the stands at the tournament I was at. Parents and kids were like, um, what was it like? Gianni and this kid are wrestling, or this kid and this
you
kid are
had
wrestling, or this kid and this kid
EJ,
are wrestling.
Elvis, and Maximus Brady. Like it was, you had some weights. You had 3 individual state champs. It was insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, because I remember being in the stands, and kids are always keeping up on everything and watching that, and they were like, "Yeah, the little Solis, not EJ, it was Greedy, right?"
Or yeah, that's what.
And
Yeah, the little one,
and
Greedy.
they competed a lot this year, and but yeah, you started hearing about the matches coming out of there, and you're like, "Wow, that's awesome." Um, we're starting to see some good stuff. Well, man, uh, we could do this more often,
Yeah,
especially
I
once you
can
get
always talk
transitioned
wrestling.
into once you get transitioned into John Newman. We'll do that, and I'll see you. I'll send you the weights too. So,
Awesome.
but man, this was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.